You're listening to Julia Gillard on Triple J's Hack program, and we're talking about the carbon price. Julia Gillard, today's opinion polls show support for Labor is dropping to record lows, 27% primary support for Labor, and also that 59% of people polled don't support a price on carbon. Now, you didn't take this exact policy to the last election. Do you have the support of the electorate to introduce a carbon price?
My job as Prime Minister is to lead, and I'm going to lead this nation to a cleaner energy future. That's what putting a price on carbon is about. It's about cutting carbon pollution. So I'm determined to do this. We've had a long debate in this country over 10 years about putting a price on carbon. I'm determined to get it done because it's the right thing for our country's future, the right thing by the environment, and by our economy, because we want to have our share of the clean energy jobs of the future.
But do you have proof that it's the right thing by the electorate? They don't seem to want it.
Well, you need to lead as Prime Minister, and that's what I'm doing.
Lead against the electorate?
We've got to make hard decisions to guarantee our future prosperity and that we can protect our environment from all of the impacts of dangerous climate change. So we've, as a nation, had to take tough decisions in the past. They weren't always popular at the time, but they were the right decisions to build today's prosperity. We've got to take the right decision today to build the prosperity we need for tomorrow, and also to act to tackle climate change. I'm determined to do that.
Some people, and that's including one person in the Q&A audience last night, say that it's an affront to democracy to introduce such a monumental change without an election mandate. Is there any truth in that?
Well, let's be very clear. At the 2007 election, Prime Minister Howard went to that election promising a price on carbon. At the 2010 election, I spoke to the Australian people about an emissions trading scheme where you put a price on carbon and cap the amount of carbon pollution your economy generates. Well, we are going to put a price on carbon from the 1st of July next year, and in 3 years we will have a full emissions trading scheme. I'm determined to do this because it's the right choice for our nation's future.
You did promise to bring in an ETS, that's right, but you did also say that there wouldn't be a carbon tax under your government. Do you have a mandate to bring in this monumental change?
As a leader, you've got to make decisions about what's right for the nation. Sometimes they're tough choices, but I've made a choice that the right thing for our country is to get an emissions trading scheme. We will get there by a different route than the one I foresaw before the last election. We will have a 3-year fixed price period, effectively like a tax, but that's what we need to do to cut carbon pollution. That's the right decision for the country. As I said on Saturday in a speech that I gave in Sydney, democracy is not one long opinion poll. Democracy is about making the right decisions to build for your future. That's what I'm doing. When we look at things like Medicare was opposed in this country. There was a very big debate. Now, if you talk to the community and said, imagine living without Medicare or universal superannuation, people would look at you somewhat oddly because they're so much part of how we live. So big changes generate big debates and they can generate anxiety. What you've got to do is see the changes through. I will do that with our plan to cut carbon pollution, and we will start it on the 1st of July next year.